And thus, we finally reached the point where we have a second edition of a clan event before some clans get their first, namely Tachikaze and Spikes and Dr. Regulars and a bunch of others. But fret not, I'm sure they're coming soon. I hope. I really do hope, you know, especially for DI. I think they're just waiting for a good time to introduce the Enishi skin. I just hope that they're not waiting for, you know, like the G Next characters for stuff like Tachikaze, because that would be a little bit yikes. So I hope instead they do like Rive or something like Chrono's dad. But anyway, today we're going to take a look at the OTT clan event number 2. So this one is a pretty happy surprise in my opinion, just because this was a clan event that not only showed us how they will function with the card pool of the cards that existed from the first one, like whether they'll be still on offer, whether they'll be like up in price like they do with the tower events, or whether they won't be available at all and you have to just craft them and stuff like that. But these nice surprises that you can choose here at the top and go to the old ones, but you can only choose to exchange for cards that you haven't already made 4 times. So you can see that I cannot exchange for anything that I have 4 times already, but the Takemikazuchi here that you see, which is the old GR from the first clan event, I can technically exchange for with this clan event's materials because I only had 2 copies. But of course you want to focus on the ones from this event instead, usually, because of course that's the most recent support. So there's quite a lot of cards to go over in terms of the rewards this time around, as well as of course packs and sleeves here for Kamusutano and the Battle Sister Stride. So let's just get into it, right? First things first, we have the Kamusutano. So this is the new GR, and his skill is when placed on Vanguard Circle, you can G Persona Blast and gain the 2 following abilities. First one is when its attack hits a Vanguard, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 to hand and put the rest to the bottom. And then GB3, all of your units get plus 2k power. So essentially gives plus 4k per column. And now if you play this in something like Magus and you have Tom in the list, there's a 9k booster that you have in that deck. So if you have a 9k booster and a Tom, that's 17, so plus 4 to the column, that makes 21, which is, I think, pretty nice. So that might be worth using this card for. Like in general, the card is not bad just to like break magic numbers with stuff like 12k attackers and whatnot already, but this is just really nice to, like, I guess, have a free draw and some power. I don't think it's like super insane. I think you're kind of okay with just picking up 2 again this time around, but I think it's still a card that you want to pick up at least a few copies. But this card, the Globe Magus, I'm really excited to read this because this was an interesting card in the TCG. So it's a Magus Stride, which says when your unit is placed or at the beginning of each attack step, which means every time you declare an attack, if your heart is a Magus card, you can look at the top card of your deck and then put it back on top. So I think in the TCG, this card basically said whenever you want, as many times as you want, you can look at the top card of your deck. So essentially you could just keep peeking at the top like non-stop or something along those lines, but I think there was like a special ruling around it. But I think the way they did it now, like this time around, I think it's pretty good, because the times when the top card will change are when you use an ability, and I guess when you call something, or when you attack. So maybe you want to attack with the Vanguard first with the cards you already know at the top, and then when you attack with the rear, you might want to check if you want to, like, you know, keep that on top for your next damage check, or if you want to draw it with one of your effects and things like that. So it's pretty good. Of course, you can't, you know, like put it to the bottom or anything. It's going to stay on the top whether you like it or not. But that way you can kind of think about whether you want to put it to the top or bottom with other abilities. And of course, the Magus abilities, you need to declare the top card of your deck all the time. So that's a great way to check for that as well. So good Stride. I think you're definitely going to need it a few times with, you know, the Magus deck. Just keep in mind, doesn't actually plus. Like, this is a Stride that does not give you any card advantage, so keep that in mind. Then we have the Gelato. This is the Battle Sister Stride. So she says, once per turn, if your heart is a Battle Sister, you can Soul Blast 1 and look at the top card of your deck for the same number as Battle Sister units that you have on the field. So if you have 5 units on the field, you can look at the top 5, add 1 of them to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck. So that's an interesting card. Like, you basically, the fuller your board is, the more you can look at the top and add a card from among them. So add a PG to your hand and stuff like that. It doesn't have to add a Battle Sister from among them, so it can be, you know, like, you can add the counter-charging PG and stuff like that from among them, so that's actually fine. But keep in mind, the other stuff will go to the bottom, so pretty good. Soul Blast 1 for a +1 is actually very nice, and like such a nice and strong +1. I think Battle Sisters have some potential going into this, not gonna lie. Then we have the Glimmer Clone, which is Akagi. So GB1 when placed on Rearguard Circle, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater Susano, can almost 1 Soul Blast 1, and then look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 of them to your hand, and put the rest at the bottom of the deck, and he gets +2k. So can almost 1 Soul Blast 1 for +1. He's alright. It's not like insane, but I think you still play because there's not really much better to play in Susano, so I think it's not bad. It's an 11k attacker on its own, which is also quite good, and the more like draw power cards you have in the deck, the more you're inclined to run stuff like stand triggers and crit triggers, so I think it's also quite good. And then we have the Ring Magus. She says when she attacks the Vanguard on Van or rear circle, if your Vanguard is a Magus, you can count +1 and then declare a card, and then you look at the top, or you reveal the top card of your deck, and if the card you revealed is the same as the card you declared, this gets +3k. So it's a 14k attacker if you declare right, but it also adds the card you declared to your hand, by the way, so it's count +1 for +1 and some power, which I think is quite good. It's just the same as the grade 2 that you had from before. Then we have the Flip Clooney. So he's a GB1, Vanguard Circle, Brigade Circle. Ooh, this is our new keyword for OTT, which is Oracle. So when the attack hits a Vanguard, if you're in Oracle state, which asks you to have 5 or more cards in hand, which in zero terms is a little bit harder to have than in a TCG in my opinion, just because it's like, I don't know, you're always like replacing your board all the time and like your front row and whatnot, so I don't know. It's interesting that they kept the Oracle on there, and Oracle isn't like 3 or more cards, it's 5 or more, even in zero. So if you have 5 or more cards in hand, this ability is active, where when its attack hits a Vanguard, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, you add one of them to your hand and put the rest in the bottom. So essentially an on-hit draw 1, which is pretty good. There's no cost to this, so you just have to keep your hand big and be on GB1, which is actually seems like a pretty good effect. He's also, you know, a regular 11k power, so it could be a good backup grade 3 in Susano maybe. Then we have the Battle Sister Marshmallow. When our attack hits a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is a Battle Sister, countercharge 1, soul charge 1. That's good. Generic countercharger is always going to be nice. You know, we have the grade 1 already, but this is even better because it soul charges to fuel that grade 1 as well, which is very nice. Good double rare. And we have the Concierge, who is a 11k attacker if you have a Tsukuyomi Vanguard. Yes, it's Tsukuyomi support. And with attack it's a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is a Tsukuyomi, you can count +1, draw 2, and put 1 card from your hand into your soul. So again, this is a really strong card for Tsukuyomi because you get to draw 2 and then put something to soul, which is technically not a minus because you're setting up your Tsukuyomi condition if you don't have it already, and you're like, you can use that soul for other card effects later on if you have too much of it. And then we have the Housekeeper, who says when placed on rear, count +1, look at top 5, add 1 Tsukuyomi to hand and put the rest at the bottom. So this also adds to your stack, so this might actually make Tsukuyomi pretty decent again, because now the stacking tools are getting stronger and stronger, and this lets you fix your consistency as well. If, like, you know, you ride the grade 1 but don't have the grade 2, or I guess if you ride the grade 2 but don't have the grade 3, like count +1 on call search, it's pretty good. I think honestly it's really not that bad. Then for the rares we have the Crane. So this guy is GB1 Oracle, so if you have 5 more cards in hand, he gets +2k during your turn. And the GB1 Oracle, when his attack hits a Vanguard, count charge 1, soul charge 1. So it's the same as the Battle Sister, but generic, but with the Oracle condition. Then we have the Tankman Mode Interrupt. GB1, when placed on rear, count +1, draw 2, and then choose a Oracle ability possessing card from your hand, and you may discard it. If you don't discard it, then discard 2 from your hand instead. So as long as you keep having Oracle cards in hand, it's a +1. It's basically in the main, sort of, but otherwise it's going to be kind of punishing you. Keep in mind he's 7k power here as well, which is all right. In zero terms, I'm not sure how good this will be. Like, this was pretty important in OTT in the G era, as we've seen from some of the notable OTT players like Mohammed, but how good will it be in zero? That's kind of hard to say right now. Then we have the sorry, it says it's Corn, so I always want to say it's Corn Magus, but it's actually Cone Magus. When placed on rear, if your Vanguard is a Magus, then you can declare a card name and then reveal the top card of your deck. And if it's the declared card name, then you countercharge 2. So it's nice because it doesn't add to hand, so you can call this, declare, get the countercharge, and then use another ability that adds the declared card to hand, and then use Globe Magus again to check what's at the top again. So it's pretty cool. Lots of nice little engine cards that we have in here. We have the Magus Crit, who is on place rear. If your Vanguard is a Magus, then you can reveal the top card. Oh, look at your top deck and then put it on top or bottom. So basically, it's a crit that lets you check the top card, which in zero terms isn't very good, so I don't think this will be played, to be honest. Then we have the Battle Sister Muffin. This is another crit, so if your Vanguard is a Battle Sister, you can put this back to your deck and then give a unit +3k and the following ability. Oracle, when attacks the Vanguard, doesn't have to hit, countercharge 2. That's pretty good. That's actually might get played because it fixes magic numbers, plus it's a crit that goes back, plus it refunds CB, so not too bad, although you do minus by putting it back to deck, but it seems pretty good. Then we have the Semi-Lunar Magus. When she boosts, if your Vanguard is a Magus, you can put her to Soul and then declare a card name, reveal the top card of your deck, and if that is a declared card, then you can draw 2. So that basically draws into the card declared plus another one, so it's pretty good. It is a plus. Plus it gives you Soul to use for other things, which is also nice. And then we have the Magical Calico, which is quite a problem card in Premium, but you know, not yet in Zero. GB1 Oracle, you can put him to your Soul and discard 1, and then search your deck for 3 cards, and then you randomly add one of them to your hand and put the rest into your drop. So basically, this is... It's not gonna be a problem yet until the V series Goddess of the Sun Amaterasu comes out. Then it's a bit then it has some problematic functions. But Calico seems pretty decent even for what it is now. Like in the Zero terms, it is, let's see, I mean, it's put the Soul and discard 1 to randomly add from like your 3 cards that you search, because you can literally search for 3 cards. You can search for the 3 of the same card and then you're gonna add it to hand anyway. So I guess it's worth for the pinpoint search. Maybe it does need Oracle, so maybe it's a maybe for me. It's a maybe for me. Then we have the Rhombus Magus. When she attacks the Vanguard, if your Vanguard is a Magus, then you can declare a card name and then reveal the top card of your deck. If it's the declared card, she's a 14k attacker. So again, doesn't add to hand, but keeps on top, so you can basically add it by another ability afterwards. We have the Sumiyoshi, which is a GB1 Oracle. When it boosts, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater Susanoo, Soul Boss 1, it gets plus 3k power. So pretty rough condition for a 10k booster, especially because it's like Oracle and Soul Boss 1, so a little bit overcosted for my liking. Then Oracle, this unit is 8k on rear, I guess, and when it boosts a unit with the Oracle ability, it gets another plus 2k, so it's literally a cheaper form of a 10k booster because it doesn't have a cost to it, which is interesting that both those cards are next to each other, I guess. And then aside from that, there's of course the Kamusutano sleeves as well as the Gelato sleeves. Both look pretty nice. Let's take a look and load them up here. So here's the Kamusutano ones. Of course, you get the grade 3 Battle Sister sleeves from just doing the event, which is also quite nice. And you can also exchange for up to 5 packs of the current set as well. So those are all the cards. The boost skins for this event, I think we mentioned them already in Tuesday's stream, but it is both Rummy Labyrinth Girls, which is very nice, together with Shin and Tokoha. So that's very nice. This is the first time that Tokoha has been a boost skin since she was introduced, which is also very good. So right now we're on Luna, so I'm not going to go too ham on the actual, you know, fights today because of course I don't have her skin, but pretty good overall. Unfortunately, the recent seasonal event, the Valentine's one, the skins are not boosts. That would be a little bit too nice, I guess, for Game Studio, which is really unfortunate, but alas, these are the boost skins. This is how things look. So let me go fight Vanguard a couple times, and then we're gonna take a look at the deck in action and the Kumi skin in action with some animations hopefully too. Alright, Kumi-chan, let's fight. Go shoot! It's time to see how things will go. I think we played with Night Rose last time. I haven't actually played with updated Stabas yet, so I might as well give that a spin and just have a go at it. I've really just been playing Night Rose lately on ladder, and really got to film the deck and fight for that pretty soon, as well as Celestials. That's really coming up quick. It's crazy how quick February's been going too, already on the 18th. Pretty nuts. I guess 19th when this is going up for some of you. So yeah. Let's take a look and see what animations Kumi has. I have enabled them all just to make sure that we actually get to see them. Alright, so I'm trying out some new cards. I kind of want to give Adelaide a shot. I don't know if she's good yet, but just to try, you know. This sounds actually pretty good. I'm going to trust to not get FTK'd by Kumi, so wish me luck. Alright, we pull into our resist piece there as well. Sadly, I'm going to ride it immediately. Good old Melania. So let's see how this goes. I really hope she does have animations for the Battle Sisters, at least for the grade 3. But they had, like, the voice is already very nice, and her like expression here is very nice. I think Kumi's a very underrated female character, you know? People kind of forget that she was a very, very nice part of the G era, you know? And just one of those very wholesome, pleasant characters, you know? That's why Chrono has good taste. Alright, right into Adelaide, so no effect this time around. And let's just swing and see what Kumi's response will be here. But yeah, it's kind of sad that Chrono is not a boost skin on this event, honestly. It's like, because I get it, right? Tokoha as well as Rummy Labyrinth are like her friends, and Shin probably is just because he hasn't been a boost skin before, and I think Chrono was. Or has he? I think he was one time, so maybe they just wanted to have Shin boost, but for lore reasons I kind of wanted you know, or not lore reasons, I guess. Shipper reasons. I wanted Chrono to be the boost, but it's okay. I understand. I understand. It's okay. Alright, well, let's ride up here first. No grade 2s on our side, which is a little bit yikes. Might get rushed down and die. That would not be based. So, I guess we're gonna just call down a bunch of Diamantes and swing at rears and pray they don't get taken out, I guess, later on. Next turn. So let's get swinging. Hopefully we pop a heal here. That would be pretty stonks. Alright, Algos would be nice for next turn. Double Algos. Well, I'm not getting too hopeful now. Not getting too hopeful at this point. Alright, well, she checks the defensive. What does she ride? There's too much going on. She has a line for Fromage, which is cool. Although I think the double rare is her main grade 3. Tell me in the comments if she has an animation for it, because the AI never re-rides. So I'd like to know if she does have an animation for it or not. Oh no, she's gonna attack into my rear. That's so sad. Alright, gonna add that. Swing with Vanguard here. PG goes to the bottom, that's kinda nice. I'm gonna go to 5 here, and one of my Diamantes will get brutally blasted here. Algos picked up, that's pretty good. That's actually quite good. Alright. Sadly, I don't think she's gonna re-ride though. Although cool that she has a Fromage line. Oh yeah, right, this is an Aquaforce, like, actual disaster for this matchup, purely because of how things go. So you have either choice of going back row attack, but that's better when opponents are at high damage. I think the title boar is still the best first stride here, going into the turn. Alright, Mr. Jaime, take us into this battle. Battle Shadow Boss. Okay, so inherit the ability, and then I think we can do is it's a little bit tough actually, because I don't really want to commit too much. I have 3 VGs in hand, which is kind of funny, but in order to get 3 attacks off, we basically have to just swing at rears and swing Van, because otherwise it doesn't hit. The power stays. It's actually quite annoying. Surprisingly annoying. So we're gonna just swing at rears regularly again and not go for the 4th attack, and pray we pop a heal here or something, and see what else Kumi's gonna stride into. Like, does she keep going to the Battle Sister stride, or does she diversify her bonds a little bit? Let's see. Nothing. We draw and call down the grade 1 here just for next turn. Never bad to have. Never bad to have. Alright, so now we're gonna go into this. Let's see. Oh no, she discarded it. That's unfortunate. That's actually unfortunate. Goes into the Gelato again. Understandable. Still a good search effect. Alright, so boss 1, check top 4, add 1. I'm gonna call double grade... Ooh, nope, not double grade 2s. Still pretty annoying though, because of course, you know, gonna have to take out both of those. PG gets checked here. If she runs stands, we're in big trouble. But I'm gonna trust Mr. Lambros to do the big work next turn, and we should be okay. Alright, PG again. We do have a stride fodder in the Thavas that we have in hand, which is good. That is good. Ooh, nice, another one picked up. Okay, we could also theoretically go into the Commander Thavas, but I feel like I want to wait for that at this point. I'll just stride over this. My field looks kind of awkward. That's the only thing, the issue that I have right now with my setup here, is that this Diamantes is like in a really awkward spot, and so I don't like that, but you know, we'll make something happen here. I think it's fine. We can kind of call the High Tide Sniper down here and give this skill to it, I guess. So that way we achieve the attack number pretty easily, I think, because then we can swing rear here, swing this into Van, then restand, swing it into rear, and then Lambros restands too. So I guess that kind of works. Sort of. Sort of. Alright, let's get into it and run it down then. Alright, battle. Swing this into rear. It's not great, but it's not bad either. Okay, swing, then this restands, so we get the power. We can technically swing this into face already and use the skill, because it's not once per turn, is it? The on attack, wave 3 or more, it is not once per turn, so we can actually use it multiple times here to gain the power. And the power gain is for the battle though, so that's a bit unfortunate, but alas, it's still okay. We can push here a little bit. We're gonna use this skill first to randomly pop something. So let's target the back rows here. Something will get popped, which reduces the power of the Vanguard as well, which is nice. We can actually hit a bit better. And then here we pop a heal too, which is very nice. I'm gonna bank on... I'm gonna take my chance here. I'm gonna take my chance here. So if he hits a defensive, it's a bit, well, if she hits a defensive, it's a bit of trouble, but otherwise, all right, PG comes out, and we have one final swing here from the High Tide. See if we take it. I think we might, but I don't think we've seen any heals, so that might actually get popped. So yeah, looks like Kumi has some lines for the different Battle Sisters, which is pretty cool. High value skin, more lines than other skins, right? But we don't know if she has for all the grade 3 Battle Sisters. That's not confirmed. So let me know in the comments if she rode and showed an animation against you, or if she keeps going into Fromage all the time, because that's the statistically best card to go into, generally speaking. So yeah, that was the new OTT event. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the showcase here. So the cards look pretty exciting. It's actually a pretty high quality event, like support for 3 different archetypes. You know, Magus, Susano, as well as Battle Sisters, all 3 archetypes here getting support, and Tsukiyomi, 4 archetypes supported in one event, which is pretty good. So I really hope that we also get the second wave of Narukami and Novas soon, because I think like that's some really powerful cards waiting in that specific, like that wave of clan events for both of those clans. So I'm really hopeful that we get them pretty soon, maybe next month. That would be pretty sick. But otherwise, that's basically it. So if you guys liked the video, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel as well, as we're getting closer and closer to 50k. But otherwise, that's gonna be it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.